Yeah, basically.
So hello everyone and welcome to Drifting, a traveler TTRPG. It's kind of like a actually not that much of a traveler RPG, just a kind of space opera. Everyone enjoys space operas. Peachy, Amelia, Safi, Tesachka all did intros. I forgot to record, so let's get into the game.
It's not,
Get
as if Twitch chat did like a poll to see if
I'm so
GP
upset
would
with
record or
myself.
not.
I have like.
I saw it come up and I was like, in the interest of Twitch chat, I'm not going to ask him yet.
Yeah. I'm glad I fucked up my intro now, to be honest. It would have been wasted.
No one's gonna see it. No, that's fine. So, last episode, we had some supply runs. We had some checking on the ship to see how good nick it is in. Answer, not very. And we got some good supplies. As a sidebar for Nomi Amelia, I X'd off things that weren't available. Some of them are rare, some of them just weren't on the station because...
Perfecto, thank you.
Then we, I think we just kind of headed out into space. You had a bit of a conversation with the captain and Romy was there as well, but I think he was busy cleaning up. Talking about a job. Essentially, you have to take some supplies out to Talend in the Annie system. So, we are a couple of days into that trip, and so far not too much has gone wrong. Cruising at a decent speed, got a lot of fuel, so you should be able to make it there and back no problem, with more fuel to spare. And the only thing that's gone wrong so far is the top half of the ship has been depowered. It's fine. Colton took a look at it and basically wrapped some flex tape around it, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Yep.
A lot of damage.
So, going forward, unless anyone has anything specific to go and talk to any of the other people on the ship with, I think
Specifically, no.
Yeah. Essentially, for now, the ship is going to be running every kind of like a day-to-day operations. You'll have quite a lot of free time to do essentially whatever you... The only person who probably wouldn't maybe is Nomi, just because she's, I would imagine, trying to get the farm up and running.
Yeah, I think she's got a few favors to ask about that, but if everybody else is resting up, she'll...
Oh yeah, I had to build something for Nomi, so I'd be doing that.
Okay. Yeah, and...
Oh yeah, you were putting the UV lights up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And aside from kind of maintaining the ship, which, you know, occasionally a light will be unwired, or, you know, one of the engines will just be a little bit clunky, but it's nothing worrying or threatening. You mostly have time to wander around, hang out. Even for Kareen, essentially you're on cruise control for the most part. So one thing that does come through is an automated message. Like at some point when you go to check on the navigation, everything, you'll see it. It's just essentially like it's like a generalized traffic shout for ships in the area and going through the lanes.
Is there like a shipping lane but space?
It's more of oft traveled routes. You know, like essentially very
the most
often,
efficient path people sort of...
Yeah, people tend to take the same path, but for the most part, you won't see other ships. It's not like heavily traffic. It's just you're in a vast area of space. Occasionally you might see something off in the distance, you know, thousands of miles away, but in terms of space, like reasonably close. So Corrine, you get a kind of automated, let's call it traffic message essentially.
Okay.
That says for notification of all shipping heading towards Annie, there's been reports of an asteroid cluster in the usual shipping lane. Advised to take a wide berth to avoid it. Should divert by about half a day for most travelers.
Now, is this something I have to respond to, or is just an automated
It's
message?
just an automated. It basically, the file gets sent out to everyone kind of in the direction, so people coming both ways can pick it up. And
I think I would let the captain know, though, just because we did have some issues. So,
Captain?
Yes.
There's an automated message letting us know there's some asteroids in our way that we need to go around. So I'm gonna do that. It just might add a little bit of extra time to the trip.
Okay. How much extra time?
Couple of days, maybe?
Alright, let me know.
Okay, just, because we had some issues, just wanted you to have the heads up.
Good to know.
Okay.
Okay. So you want to essentially, there's like a little, like info dump of where the asteroid is. You can kind of upload it to your navigational map, and that'll allow you to essentially like skirt around. Yeah, it should only bump your travel time by maybe half a day, like just kind of as you have to divert around. It will also require you for that half a day to be at the controls, because essentially you're taking a turnaround.
yeah.
So you may miss dinner or something, but it is what it is. And it hasn't been your turn yet to cook, just FYI. So.
Oh, good. Congratulations to everyone that has escaped that fate so far.
For Colton, your bodge job, you've gone back to check it, like a day after. Seems to be holding together well. There's no kind of like danger or anything there.
To be honest, I probably didn't check on it because it's a bodge job. It's gonna fail at some point.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't. I did as good as I can.
Yeah, there haven't been.
And
any
when it breaks, I have to redo it anyway. So
yeah. Okay.
I'm busy trying to build some lighting rig.
Yeah.
For our farmer.
For Astrid, there's a point around about now where the first fuel rod will run out. It just needs a switch. But yeah, just so you know, the first fuel rod, because they left it in there, it drained like halfway. So you only get about 3.5 days, 4 days out of it. So
they didn't leave it in.
It was already drained when you.
Oh.
Because they'd left it in for a while before you got there and lent your expertise. For the farm, it's starting to get set up. Like a few days is enough time to get the UV set up and basically the beginnings of everything. I'm pretty sure you got the most of what you wanted.
Yeah. I've already been planting out the little seeds in readiness for the UV to be coming through. And I think any spare time, if you've gone through the kitchen at all, you'll see that like meticulously picking seeds out of existing fruit that they've managed to get a hold of before she'll let anyone touch them. And there are pots in the kitchen everywhere now, all meticulously labeled as to what rubbish is supposed to go in them.
Interesting. Okay. In that case, I think feel free to start filling out, by the way, what you're planting up and what's going to be growing in the farm. You got your little farm hand now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that offline though, because my brain won't let me do that while I'm talking.
It's gonna take a while for stuff to start growing and for you to start to get the garden up and running, so not too much worried about that. The one thing I think I will actually ask for, just purely because this is a bit more of a tricky thing to achieve. Could you roll me a botany, please?
Yeah.
Don't forget to click on and off the boon and back to normal, because otherwise it'll do.
Let's see if it'll do it today.
Okay.
Right. Boon. Bane. Back to normal. And I'm doing botany. So just click on the stars next to it, right?
Yeah.
Yay.
Damn. So it's not out of the woods yet, but the tangerine sapling, it is definitely starting to show more signs of life. Essentially, like, and I imagine Nomi's actually probably been like spending time with it while on downtime.
Oh yeah.
Just kind of like nurse it back as efficiently
yeah,
as possible.
you see her constantly like adding weird stuff to the soil around it just to try and get it functioning, giving it some kind of minerals and the food that it needs, because it's had nothing.
Tiny plant, live.
I think for a little while the UV light is being set up, she'll probably take the captain up on his ridiculous offer of the head torch and, like, with some gaffer tape or something, just rig something up hanging next to it so that it's constantly on. Just anything to bring it back to life.
That's so cute.
So yeah, damn, that's a really good roll. I would say unless something catastrophic happens, you won't need to roll again to get the tangerine sapling like up and rolling.
Yay! I mean, it is the most pointless tree in the farm.
I mean, not if you
you're
want
going to buy
tangerines.
some, you can't eat it for a long time.
Yeah,
It's a tree, but
hey,
I love it.
it's also a little bit symbolic of the damage that was done before you came here and you turning it around. So
Yeah. I think just occasionally you might hear the sound of singing coming from that room, but nobody's ever caught her doing it.
And that evening, as you all sit down, it has been the captain. Captain Left's turn to cook dinner. So as you all sit down to dinner, sorry, Kareen, you're not. You're gonna be flying. So.
Oh, okay.
The rest of you, Kareen will get some food in a moment. So. The rest of you sit down, and the captain kind of looks around and brings out this big pan pot type thing of, when you look inside it, essentially tomato sauce, shell pasta, and mince. It is super simple, and that is all it is.
As in ketchup or a tomato sauce?
As in tomatoes pureed, and then so not ketchup, no.
So a step up from where I originally was. Cool.
Yeah. And puts it down and says, everyone tuck in, enjoy, and like ladles out some food for everyone. Sits down, and so how's the ship? Everything well maintained and no more problems?
Slight variation of power regulations going to the engine bay, but it's nothing to worry about at the moment.
You think hopefully it'll hold up till we get to Talend?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Good. And the plants, they
seem to be seeding well.
Good. So you planted them?
Most of them. Some will need to be planted in different ways. We're rather short on surface area,
Right.
but they're only small at the moment, so the space required is minimal. Speaking of which, Colton, the what did you call it? The torch you bought?
The welding the oxyacetylene torch.
You can use that?
It's like a knife for metal.
Can it stick together as well as separate?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I'd like to rig up some hooks on the ceiling girders of the farm.
Okay. You have the hooks. You can make hooks.
No.
You
But
can make hooks.
I think it would be better if we over-engineered rather than having to do it twice.
Right.
Just loops, as many as possible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Still having trouble with my plumbing in my room. Don't know what.
Is
It leaks now and again.
there something broken?
Not a plumber. Not really my area.
Why don't you simply move rooms? There are lots of rooms.
I can move rooms. I'll move rooms.
That's that sorted. And at the same time as you're talking, Roby
Astrid.
Roby like ladles a huge bowl of pasta, mince, and etc. Into a bowl and says, I'll take this down to Kareen. And kind of wanders off down. You hear him like clomping down the hallway.
Wait, is she doing overtime?
She has to pilot. We're having a bit of a detour. There's apparently some asteroids or something in the way.
And Kareen is doing that.
Yes. Kareen's our pilot.
Yeah. Wait, the hair and the
With the hair and the...
coffee and the lack of work ethic. At Kareen.
Yeah, she came highly recommended and seems to know her stuff, so...
Perhaps it's more of a condensed timetable.
Colin has no idea what you just said. Because he deems you very smart, he'll agree with it.
Oh no.
Anything needed? I mean, obviously, when we get back into station, we'll go over what's needed for repairs and everything, but so far, everyone's content and happy, and...
I would like to ask permission to requisition one of the vac suits and O2 masks for the farm.
Oh, leave that with me. I'll need to check on how many vac suits we have.
3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to buy more vac suits. Would you be okay for now, keeping them where they are for kind of, emergencies and...
No.
Oh.
If it's needed in the farm, it will be an emergency.
Right.
Usually vac seats are in case of depressurization or going outside.
Yes, there's a rapid vent atmosphere button in the farm. In case of fire or biological contamination.
Biological contamination? Is that likely?
She thinks about it like, how the hell do I explain this to this man? Plants sometimes release things you don't want them to.
Right.
The depressurization makes them go away.
Okay, are we growing anything that's likely to release contamination?
Not yet, but there is a high chance currently, until Coulton has a chance to work his way through the entire wiring of the ship, that in an area with so many lights and so much flammable material, something could catch fire.
Well, as long as you don't mind us in situations where we need the three vac suits, if you don't mind us removing that one to use, then I don't see a problem with keeping one of them in the farm.
You're the captain. If you wish to risk potentially jeopardizing months of work growing plants and your backup O2 supply, that is your choice.
Very good point.
The ship would be fine. As the lights flicker and I just smack the side of the door.
Astrid, is everything okay? You've only had 2 helpings.
Yeah.
There's more if you want it.
Should probably save some for Kareen, I guess. I'm just a bit shocked. We're growing some, magic mushroom shit.
Not yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why do you want me to?
I'm gonna look at the captain do I want to?
Why would we need that?
I feel like...
Hey, can we sell that?
Yes.
So I feel like for now, we should keep everything, within the scope of the law, just in case we get checked or anything.
Which law?
The inner laws. Preferably.
As you wish.
I mean, for now at least, and obviously we'll discuss this later, but my plans are to pick up some reasonably easy but decently paying jobs for the inner corporations and even the government if need be. We can see where it goes from there, but for now, not growing hallucinogenics would be a good way to not get in trouble if they want to search the ship.
Medicinal.
As you wish.
For now, we'll revisit it later. Is my thought. And Kareen, Romy walks in with a big bowl of pasta and a fork, just basically plonks it down in your lap.
I immediately pick it up and start eating. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. How's it going?
Seems all right. They gave me a route, so I didn't have to even do that work, which is great. So I'm just pretty much following it.
Okay. Well, that's good. Let me know if anything, pops.
Yep. You'd see her check all of her various screens and sensors, and sensors are a little fuzzy, but you can tell things are okay.
Yeah. Things seem fine so far. You're kind of like a bit off the beaten path at this point, but you know, it is what it is.
Space, everything is a little bit off the beaten path.
Yeah. Alright, so if there's anything you need, just let me know. I'd offer to stand a shift, but I can't pilot to save my life, so.
That's alright. I'm mostly just chilling. I love my job.
Oh, would you like me to make you some coffee?
Yes, please. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Be right back. And he kind of moves and walks out the door. Maybe about 2 minutes after he's left, there's a ping on your console. Just kind of like a artificial object. Kind of located. Essentially, you're close enough that the sensors have picked up a like a ship or something. But the ship isn't like it's not moving, so it's not. It's basically not sending out a signal that you know.
Okay, but I can tell it's a ship.
Well, like the most likely thing would be ship. Asteroid probably not. Possibly, but for the most part, could be a station that's been abandoned or depowered or something.
Wouldn't that be on our star charts though?
In general, yes. It depends how old it is. It's been a good 500 plus years since space travel, and sometimes a station is put up to chart an area of space, or a way station, especially in the older days where it took even longer to travel. They'd have way stations set up, and now that they're not necessary, they just kind of ignored.
Is it in our path or just close by?
It's kind of a little ways away further from the beaten path, so it'd just be a bit more of a curve kind of to head towards it if you want to.
I think I'd also let the captain know.
Yeah, you can give it while you do that, you can also give it a bit of a scan if you like.
Sure. Curious. Plus, it's not that hard to hit a button to scan.
Yeah. So this will be recon. Don't forget to switch the boon on and off just to stop it from doing that rolling thing.
Can't tell what it's doing. Oh, I see. Okay.
What are you guys rolling with? So, yeah, even before you actually hail the captain, you just basically manually bring the sensors, even with the crappy sensors that you have to work with, and you hone in on the location. Basically, when you want to scan something specifically, you have to lock in on the location fairly close. You just kind of guessed at how far away it was, and were right on the money. And also, it wasn't really guessing. You are quite good at this. Yeah, more specifically, it appears. I'm not sure that you'd know the exact make. It appears to be a passenger ship, and from what you can tell, you can't. Life signs are difficult. Essentially, when you do a scan, you need a very specific sensor to scan for life forms, and this ship doesn't have that. It can give you a basic idea of the power of the ship. if it's powered up, it will send a ping, which will have its like license, etc. But it appears to be a passenger ship. The power is banked, essentially. Like, it's running really low power, and most of all of the systems and everything are turned off. And the atmosphere inside the ship appears to be fairly thin. Possibly like, it's not run out, but it'd be like being at the top of a mountain type thing, you know, where it's a bit harder to breathe.
Okay.
It also appears to be slowly rotating, just like kind of like
Drifting?
yeah. Title drop.
She said it. She said it.
She
She
said
said
the
the name of the
thing.
show. She said it.
So yeah, you decide to do that like even before you contact the captain, because you're like, I can do this really quickly, and just like bang out a quick scan on it.
Captain?
Excuse me, 1 second.
Yeah? There appears to be a ship in our near-ish vicinity. Came up as something stationary-ish on the scan, so I did a little bit of a deeper scan. It seems to be drifting. Low power, very low air, atmosphere inside. Not really sure if you want to go check it out, or just pass right on by.
Is it very far out of the way?
Is it very far out of the way?
No, it's basically on our path.
Okay, in that case, head towards it and I'll be right down.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I just do whatever I need to do on the
Yeah,
controls.
it's almost like that in terms of moving, so it's not much of a thing.
It's over.
Okay, so we appear to have possibly found a derelict or a wrecked ship of some kind. Finish your dinner and come down to the bridge, and we'll see what's going on and what we're going to do about it.
Dips. Wanna go on it, Dips?
On what?
I mean, if we can go out, have a look, I call Dips.
Right. Okay.
What's the
Noted.
salvage laws around here?
I don't think the salvage laws really abide by the calling of dibs.
Well, yeah.
So yes.
I mean, in general.
Finish your dinner and come down to the bridge when you're done. And the captain gets up and heads over. And for you, Kareen, the Romy comes in, hands you a kind of mug of yes, like that.
Thank you. You are my savior. I appreciate it so much. And then she like downs half of it and puts it down. So, I'm not sure if you heard me, but we're shifting over just a bit to check out this derelict ship. Don't know if anybody's on it. The atmosphere there is pretty thin, but worth a look-see.
Okay. Well, yeah. If it's possible that they're just out of power or having some problems, so
Yeah.
maybe we can help someone. And if not, then we can at least report it when we get back.
Yeah. Sure.
And then the captain walks in as well and says, "Okay, ship."
Yeah, it's just honestly just drifting. It seems to be in a little bit of a spin. Very low atmosphere, very low power. There is some power. There is some atmosphere. I would recommend if anybody goes over there to be wearing a suit. Of course.
Okay.
I can get us pretty close.
Well, we could take Astrid and Colton over so that they can, if possible, get the power back up and running and start getting the atmosphere back up to normal, so we can just see what's going on. Hopefully, no one's in trouble.
There's no distress signal or anything, so
Okay.
who knows?
Um.
Out here, it could be anything.
Can you pull up the readout that you got?
Sure, yeah. There you go. It's up on that second monitor.
Oh, okay. It's a Silic class passenger ship out of Foxfire Interplanetary.
Do I know what that means, GB?
Foxfire Interplanetary is one of the corporations, one of the larger corporations. They don't as often tend to build kind of civilian ships, which a passenger ship tends to be, civilian more than anything else. So you don't know a super load about Foxfire ships, so yeah.
So to the captain, I would say, yeah, I don't know very much about them. Do you?
Just a very small amount. They were after all the conflicts ended at the turn of the century. Quite a lot of the designs were repurposed for civilian use because there's less need for like troop transports and stuff. So this actually is like an adjustment of one of the Foxfire troop transports like blueprints.
Interesting. Well, I hope if there's anybody on it still that they're okay.
I don't think it comes with I don't think it comes with lifeboats, so most likely they're still on there.
Just be careful when you guys go across.
And just FYI for those of you still eating and stuff, feel free to turn up in the bridge whenever you're done eating and buy your leave.
Naomi would
Where are
have
we
stopped
going?
eating the second
same.
that you said.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
probably
we went
already
straight
finished
down.
my meal. It was efficient to eat it as fast as possible. We're done
So
with meal
kind of
time.
Yeah.
shovel it down quickly, or just head off and go in. So does it end up where you all basically just kind of finish off the dinner and then just end up walking into the bridge at the same time, or pretty
Yeah.
much just?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we picked up a passenger ship. I'm guessing it was either heading towards Annie or back to Inner. I'm not really sure. It doesn't have any lifeboats, and it isn't emitting a distress signal. So I think the best thing we can do from what we know is just go and see what's the problem and help them out if they need help.
Just be careful. All right.
I assume you've scanned the wider area.
Yeah, I did. I assume I did.
Yeah. It's there's no kind of.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else. It does make me feel a little uncomfortable that we're out here by ourselves and there's this ship just drifting. So
Likewise.
be
It
wary.
happens.
It does. We're out pretty far.
So what's it
So-
got? Has it got power?
Very
Atmosphere?
low power, very low atmosphere. So definitely you want to be in a suit when you first go across. I don't know if you guys can
How low?
fix it. I don't know how low she'd be.
GP, is it too low for like low atmosphere breathe training, stuff like that?
It's at the lowest end of what you'd be comfortable with. Like, you can still breathe, but if you have like a good 20 plus people, it'll, like, without keeping it going, it'll run out reasonably quickly, like a few days.
Right.
My thoughts
Yeah.
were Colton and Astrid. Us three will go on first and try and restore the atmosphere and talk to everyone in the vac suits. And once we find out what the problem is and speak to the people on there, then we can, get them back up and running at the very least. And if the ship is beyond repair, then I think they maybe have to scrunch up a bit, but we probably have enough space to give them a lift. Worst
Do we know
comes
who
to
owns
worst.
Do we know who owns it?
No idea. The ship isn't putting out a signal, so we can't tell.
Yeah, there's no transmission. I just sort of saw it pop up as a thing, so I scanned a little closer.
There's no ID.
Is it worth trying to send a transmission over to him?
That, I don't know, Captain?
Well, if the power's banked, then the systems are running on negligible at best. The likelihood is even if they were to receive a signal, they may not even be able to play it or
True.
identify it. So
I feel like if there's someone over there and they receive a message from what could be help, they'd use what they have to reply.
yeah.
Maybe we could just ask.
Yeah. In that case, Astrid, Colton, let's go get our vac suits on. Kareen, just send out a shout and see if they reply.
Sure.
Unidentified ship. This is the pilot of the deep waters. We're nearby. Please let us know if you need help, if you're out there. Just respond if you can.
Tell them we're sending some people over.
We're gonna send some people your way. They can help you out if you need it.
And Fane, Captain, heads off to get his vac suit on.
Do I get a response?
Oh yeah.
I get my vac suit on and I double check and triple check my weapon, and I take way more ammo than I would need. Just in
And Fane has this oh god, does he? Oh, I need to check now what's in his. I was gonna say he has a revolver, but he doesn't because that's not his. He has. That's right. He has a Gauss pistol. It's kind of like it fires kind of supercharged metal, as opposed to like a proper slug launcher, like a revolver. And after like a couple of seconds thinking, he also like puts on this vac suit, like under the vac suit, kind of like flak thing. It's kind of battle armor almost. You'd recognize it, Colton. Like they use it for military purposes as well. So, and yeah,
like regulation black armor or like a custom.
It looks custom. So it may have started as regulation, but it is not now. It seems to be trimmed down a bit to allow for like easier movement as opposed to like maximum coverage.
Okay. Interesting.
Astrid will have, got the third back suit, and also will have got together like tools, wrenches, a blowtorch thing that Colton got from the markets last time, and also she will be dragging in a radium rod along with her.
Okay, good. I think we're all ready. And just as a sidebar, Kareen, if the ship was moving, or if it was a bit more motive, I'd probably ask for a roll on piloting to kind of like dock in with it, and essentially.
I was gonna ask, am I docking with it?
So so what you'll essentially be doing is going into you'll be going into like a as close as you can get, and kind of maintaining the same rotation as it, so that they can pretty much open up and jump across, essentially. The vac suits are magnetized, so you'll be able to jump out and get to the other thing. I think, do you all have vac suit skills?
I definitely do.
Don't know. Let's have a look.
Colton, I don't know how much time he's spent. Yeah, you do.
I probably have let's have a look. Basic training, probably.
Yeah, you have some points in vac suit.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so I have not only basic training, but I've done it a bit as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Kareen, you essentially sidle up to the side of it, and Fane, Colton, and Astrid head off into the airlock. When it opens up, you see
Cycling airlock.
when it opens up, you see like the other side of the ship, like open space, and then the ship. It looks reasonably new. It actually looks in better nick than the Deep Waters, for what that says. So it's possibly a newer ship than the one you're on. The airlock is closed, but easy enough to get into it once you get over to the other side. So the captain looks at you both and says, I'll go first and get it open, lock onto the side, and then you can basically just jump straight through. Sound good?
Roger that.
And you both you both have experience with this type of thing. It's not going to be a problem.
No issues here.
Astrid, are you armed?
I got wrench.
Right. Just stand behind me until we know there's no one there.
We'll go in first and call the all clear, and then you can come in after.
Just in case.
Okay. And the captain braces himself, jumps, and kind of like really, really nice trajectory, and just clamps on with his boots onto the side of it. Walks over to the airlock, and essentially like a little bit of work with it, with the control panel, manages to get it open, and it kind of. Usually when an airlock opens, there's kind of a rushing escape of air. There's not really any, like, don't say any of that. And then he like swings himself into the airlock and raises his hand. It's like Kareen's a reasonably good pilot, I'll say, for now. So it's like a good 10 meters away, which with no gravity, pretty easy to.
Okay. I'll push off with my feet. Disengage the mag locks on the boots.
Yeah.
And maybe not elegantly, but sufficiently, just go over.
Yeah, and the captain's there, so he has his hand out, like grabs you and pulls you in.
The
second I get in, activate mag boots. I'm gonna cock my weapon, and I'm gonna immediately start clearing the immediate area where we are.
Well, so you got both sides of the airlock, so is just like inside the airlock. You'll need to close this side.
Yeah. I'm just making sure that the area that I can currently see is covered.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have described the area. It's just a very kind of like short little airlock bit. There's nothing inside it. It's just a little.
Then I will go up against the airlock and ready to take a corner when it opens.
And then the captain waves over, says,
Okay, Astrid, jump across.
Before I do, it's ready to catch this. I'm gonna throw the iridium rod so it just floats over to you.
and it kind of like floats across reasonably quickly. And
that's not dangerous or anything, right? That's not like a.
Be gentle with it.
Hello.
Yeah, the iridium rods onto, even though they're called iridium, they're not actually like volatile unless they're like brought out their casing.
All right. And then I'm gonna disengage the maggots in my boots, push off, do a roly poly, and just.
Okay.
Of course she does a roly poly.
Of course.
I would like to say.
And I'll grab onto the captain.
Yeah.
Hand and
Brings
just
you
pull myself
in. And lock your mag boots onto the floor. And the captain like hits button. I've literally lost the word for what.
The doors.
Airlock. There we go.
Airlock.
The airlock closes, and he says,
Okay, Astrid, stay here for now. We're gonna just make sure the coast is clear, calm anyone down who's panicking, or could be panicking. Just see what the
keep your head
situation
down.
is.
What if someone comes in here whilst you two are out there?
We're right here.
Yeah, we'll just be right here, so.
I got a wrench, I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, if someone has a problem, feel free to hit them with the wrench.
Oh well.
Captain.
Yes.
Standard clear pattern, 4-7, Delta.
Yeah.
What now?
and you see the captain, like, you're posted up on one side, he posts up on the other side next to the control panel. Hits the panel, and at the same time you both kind of like go through, guns out, just kind of like looking around.
Just clearing each corner, making sure.
Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah, clear.
I'll give it a second or two while I just take a second look around. Just I'd like to make sure it's clear before we get Asteroid in.
So you're essentially in a fairly large, what could be considered like a cargo room, but with all of the like cots and like what seem to have been partitioned off areas. It looks like a big area that is kind of been turned into passenger room. The lighting is very, very low. It's essentially like emergency power lighting. Draws very little power, but gives very little light. You see no sign of any actual people. It appears to be completely deserted, and a lot of the area is like slightly disheveled. So, you know, there's partitions that are knocked over. There's beds, like cots that are like on their sides or upside down. There's a few kind of like bags which passengers, you know, will store their clothing and various sundry items that have been kind of like tossed and like opened up and tossed out. So just
Okay.
Astrid, keep your head down. I think we're good.
And I want to look for like maybe a wall panel or something. See if I can get a readout of anything from here before going further.
yeah. So it doesn't seem to be anything in here. Very possibly because it's being a passenger ship, you know, you have a whole load of people crammed in and you don't want them, like, randomly getting access to stuff. To your right is a big, what appears to be like a kind of a set of doors that go towards where the bridge is. And then back behind you is more of like a kind of probably where the power and storage room would be. And the captain says,
let's just check this area before we start moving out. Once we know this is clear, we can decide what to do next. Because I'm worried that there's no one on here.
I'm worried there is.
Right.
Excuse me. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
Was there just the one way out the airlock, or was there another door in there?
just the, well, there's the out into space, or there's out into this room.
Oh, okay.
And actually, the captain says,
Astrid,
Yellow.
stick behind me.
Alright.
For now, we won't fix anything or do anything else. We're just gonna see what we can see in here.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave the uranium rod in the airlock because I don't want to drag it around.
Yeah, no problem.
and the next 5 minutes or so is essentially Astrid, you're following the captain around. He's just kind of like checking behind partitions, making sure no one's about. I'm assuming Colton's gonna do much of the same.
Yeah, a bit more aggressively.
Yeah.
Because this is fun to him.
And after about 5 minutes, you hear through the comms.
Claire.
Claire. No contact.
Alright. Let's meet up in the middle.
Copy.
Roger that.
And the captain, as you get kind of face to face.
So, we've got two choices. We can get in the back, which is where the power's gonna be. We can, figure out what's wrong with the power. Also, if there were passengers, which it looks like there is, they'll probably be back there because there's more space than in the bridge.
I recommend moving to the front of the ship. Just to make sure there's no one who can do anything. You get my drift.
Yeah.
Also, we'll be able to get more. We'll guarantee a readout at the front.
I don't know how to operate the console on do either of you know how to pilot?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. In that case, let's do it.
Coffee, my lead.
Right.
And I
completely forget that there's a captain here, and I take the lead of this party that's clearing out this ship.
Yeah.
Unless you want to, Captain.
Your lead.
Coffee.
And I'm full on FBI clearing out every corner as we proceed down the ship. So I'm very aware. I'm constantly looking for threats. I might not be aware of other stuff, or I'm constantly looking for physical threats.
Yes. So the first set of doors opens up quickly and easily. You realize why, because there's a couple of partitions for toilets. So essentially, there would have been access for the crew. The next set of doors, which is through to the bridge, are a bit harder to get through. Essentially, there appears to be a security lock in place that you need a code for.
Because security.
bring anything to break through a door?
Oh, yeah, the blowtorch.
Yep. Perfect.
Delay that 2 seconds.
Right.
I'd like to look around the security panel, wherever you put the password in and stuff.
Yeah.
And remove a panel next to like the wall panel and see if I can get the inner wires, etc.
Yeah. It's
An
actually
oxyacetylene torch might not work very well in low pressure. That's what I'm concerned about.
So given the fact that you have some experience with Foxfire ships, you have a chance, you think, because it looks very similar to some of the ships you worked on before, whereby you can essentially turn, like, unplug and replug the connections to the security pad. It's not guaranteed to work, but it has for the older models that you of ship that you were working on, like, that was a good way to kind of get around it. Again, like, even with those ones, it didn't always work. So
I think it's worth a try because, I mean, the other option is to cut the door open. So, just, we still got option B.
Yeah.
Gonna try something.
You just want to untwist it and kind of,
Yeah, just figure out the wires, see if I can just send a pulse through that the panel would normally send through by giving a correct answer, and I'll just try and fake it by just sending a pulse through with the power that it has, which isn't much, but it might be enough to open a door.
Yeah. So yeah, you kind of you pull it off, and then the panel turns off, like the lighting of it turns off, and then you move it to the side slightly, and just kind of like very quick tap, and it kind of like it lights on and lights off, lights on again, and you hear that click of the retracting locks.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Open it up then.
The door doesn't open, right? It just, you hear the locks go.
Yeah.
Okay, cover. Right.
Check that he's in position, and then when he is, I'll just start to pull the door open.
Yeah, it doesn't open.
Seems to be stuck. Might be a vacuum in there.
I think I know what this is. Pirates very often seal off the bridge after they've hit a ship. They have a strip that they put on the inside of the door, and then fire it up as they close the door, and it welds the door shut.
Right. So the only way in is to cut our way in.
Cut way in.
Asteroid, do you think you can cut in this atmosphere?
Yeah.
Okay, you're the key.
As if pirates hit a passenger ship. Are all passengers?
That's a good question. It's possible they sealed them up, either in the bridge or in the supply, and then just took everything they wanted and then left it drifting.
But
Pirates don't really care what's left.
Yeah.
I know that, but if there are passengers in there, and we go and bust this vacuum, even if they have welded it, the pressure difference won't last very long, will they?
If
Unless
it's
they've got back suits on.
if it's a vacuum in there, then they're not alive anyway.
Right.
Astrid will just get the yeah, those noises. Get it lined up. I guess just to make a bit of a square first across where the middle of the doors meet. So if anything, we can just push a hole and have a look in first, and then we can extend it out further.
And while you're doing that, the captain comms over to Corrine.
Got to the bridge. Corrine?
Yes, Captain?
So we're a little bit... We have a suspicion that this ship was hit by pirates.
Oh,
So keep an eye on the scanner. Just make sure that there's nothing in the area and that nothing's coming our way.
okay. Will do. How quickly could you guys get back here if you needed to?
5 minutes?
Okay. Okay.
Just stay in rotation with the ship and it should be fine.
Will do.
And, tell Romy, just in case, get his weapon.
Okay. Okay.
Right, I'll update you soon.
Sounds good.
I think I would get up and go to Romy. I would start a scan and then like go to Romy and be like, so Captain thinks that it might have been pirates that hit the ship. I'm gonna be scanning, but he wanted you to have your weapons ready.
Okay, I'll go get them now. And he's been sitting in your kind of co-pilot seat, not really doing anything, because as far as you could tell, he has no idea what any of the buttons or consoles mean. But like stands up and says, looks at Nomi and says, do you need a weapon?
I would like one just in case.
Alright. I'm not sure how much we have, but see what I can find.
But I
hope
Like,
he
would
doesn't
it
go
help-
and look in the locker with all the weapons.
could I get closer? Like, would it help if I got closer?
Do me a piloting roll. This isn't to get closer, it's whether you think you can get closer.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Sorry. I did the...
You're not sure. I would say, like, you're close enough now that going from ship to ship isn't too much of a, of a problem, and barely a risk at all, unless someone slips or something, it could be a problem, but... So, like,
guess.
you could try, but you're not 100% confident that it would make much difference, and it would risk a collision, or,
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay. I'll just keep scanning. Rain's a little nervous. She's drinking extra coffee.
Can I see any markings on the outside of the ship that would indicate forced entry or anything like that?
No, it seems to the ship itself doesn't have any weapons on it. And just from your knowledge and things like that, most likely there wasn't a space fight. More likely there was a run and pursuit until,
Gotcha.
So, Astrid, you kind of cut through, and the doors are eased off and opened. And Colton and Fane, kind of pry them apart once you've kind of cut through this welding strip that was activated. And the bridge is open. There's no rush of air or anything to indicate that it was a vacuum. And you've got like a couple of consoles looking out the front. They're like they're turned.
The room
not,
is empty, right? First of all, let me just.
So yeah, there's no one in the room.
Okay.
You know what? This, because the light isn't very high. Could both of you please give me I'm trying to decide what it would be here. I think it would, like, if you have recon or if you have survival, either of those would work for me.
Oh,
Yeah. Damn, that's rude. Oh. So Colton, you're kind of focused on clearing the room as.
Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Never mind. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Okay, cool. As Colton and Fane move in, the first thing that catches your eye, Astrid, as you're kind of like looking around, is this like dark red patch on the top of the ceiling of the thing. Looks like a blood splatter, but like dried up blood splatter.
I'm just gonna like demagnetize my boots and I guess just float upwards to try and have a better look at it.
So you kind of like kick off, and Colton, you see as well, like Astrid kind of floating up to the ceiling, and like as you look up there, you're like, oh yeah, there's a dark patch there, and as you go closer, like yeah, it's definitely, you can't 100% say for sure it's blood because it's dried and it's more of a stain now, but you can't think of another explanation for why it would be there.
Well, it's not beetroot juice, that's for sure.
Huh?
I think it's blood.
So, likelihood of pirates have gone up, unless someone went insane and killed everyone on the ship. However, or at least killed one of the pilots. But that doesn't explain why the body isn't here.
Could be out there.
Yeah. I think we need to go check out the back.
Let's see about getting the atmosphere restored and see the rest of the ship.
Would that be from the power? Can we do it from the front here?
There's not enough power to activate the consoles.
I'll try and see if I can override the consoles to get the power and.
No, you might have to go get power on first.
I'm gonna guess that we'll need you back there as well, Astrid, to open up the supply room doors.
Yeah.
So, let's go get that done. Keep an eye out. So far, we haven't seen any actual threats, so hopefully there'll
There's
be
no way to
some.
fully check until we get power.
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be some alive passengers in the back. Fingers crossed.
Okay, heading back there.
Yeah.
Astrid, we're gonna need that rod.
Alright, let's go grab that first.
And I will escort her, like Kevin Costner escorts Whitney. No, I will make sure she's safe as she's going back there.
Yeah. And because it's essentially the same operation. The doors are fused again. You do need to cut through to. These ones aren't locked though, so.
I will try and open them before we have to cut through.
Oh yeah, no, they're not locked, but they're fused. So the cutting needs to happen again.
Did you actually see one of those welding bars on the door to the bridge?
Yeah, it's kind of like a strip that goes on the inside of the door, and when you close it, you activate it, and it's like magnesium, it like flares up and welds. It kind of melts the door slightly, like welds
So
it together.
it was on that door.
Yeah.
Okay. And also just like whilst we've been moving around the ship, I haven't seen any like logos or symbols or anything. Like nothing's been like painted on that I'd recognize. Okay.
The door is eventually opened, leads you to a essentially a big supply room with 2 doors on each side, which one leads to, 2 doors on each side, which lead you to the power generators on each side, and then a door at the front which leads you to the engine room.
Alright, you start working on these. I'm gonna replace this rod. If you can filter it through, and then.
So are we in the engine room? Did you say, sorry?
Essentially, you're in like a fairly large, wide supply, like cargo room.
Oh, okay.
What it has here is again lots of knocked over and like opened crates and things like that. It's quite empty as well, actually. For the most part.
I'll scan the area and just assume they took everything they could.
It looks like they pretty much took everything, yeah.
Okay, let's go through to the engine room. Let me clear it. Just keep your head down.
Got it.
The doors to the engine room and to the power generator rooms on both sides aren't locked.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna clear the engine first.
Yeah. And you go in, kind of like this ship has one like big engine, and then 2 side maneuver engines. So it's much more simple compared to the deep waters. As you go in, that's all that's in the room is just the engines there, and it's like, you know, very quick to clear.
Okay, it's clear here.
Alright.
I'm gonna go through the power. You hear anything? Keep me.
Yep.
And I'll look to make sure that went in.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
And then go into the power.
I'll clear the left generator room. You clear the right, and then we'll come back to the. Once we're sure it's completely clear.
Oh,
come
he's
back
with
into the
us?
engine.
Oh, I thought it was just me and Astrid. I thought he stayed there.
No, he
Where did you come from?
Sorry. He came with you into the engine room because you're clearing out like together.
Okay.
So yeah, you go into the right pet generator room. Very small, simple generator. Essentially, both generators can be run from a console in either one. And you kind of like you go in and you look around, don't see any how like because it's Colton, I imagine fairly meticulous.
Very thorough, yeah.
Okay.
A, that's just how he does things, and B,
Yeah.
this is. He's doing this again. This is fun.
Yeah.
Like he's sort of back there a bit. There's maybe a bit of twinkle in his eye.
Yeah. So as you're going through, like tucked round behind the back of the generator, which is a place probably you've hidden like when you're working on the bigger ships in the generator room, you probably like found the spot where you could hide, you know, like a
That's
half
where the whiskey
bottle or
goes.
something. Yeah. You find back there a little duffel bag, like, you know, fairly big, kind of like a sling bag.
Yeah, I'll pull that out. And unzip it. Have a look in.
Okay. So inside the sling bag, you find okay. So there's some electronicals crap. Like this kind of like small little disc, like small little black disc. There's also a couple of like these kind of small jacks which are plugged into consoles. You don't know what they're for, but you know, in general they're either programs to run or they're like storage devices.
Okay.
So you know, like if you have like navigational data, you can plug it into a piloting console, and it'll download that stuff for you. You also find a filter mask. Just essentially, the only thing it's really useful for is toxins, poisons. It filters that out of the air. It's not like you know, help me survive the vacuum of space or anything.
It's I'm doing some work with some toxic stuff. I better put this mask on.
You also find a close pistol. Close pistols are made of plastics and non-metals, so that they don't show up during weapon scans.
Polymers.
They're
Nice.
extremely illegal in the inner systems and in Encroacher system as well. All three governments have them banned. So.
Okay.
You also find you actually find 3 of the jacks.
Okay.
Oh, and then a basic ID set.
A basic ID set. Okay.
Yeah, it just basically has the citizen information, you know, like travel passport type stuff.
I'm gonna assume a few things here.
Okay.
But this isn't quite so important right now. So, first of all, I'm gonna grab the polymer gun and I'm gonna put it in the back there.
Yeah.
Back carry.
Oh, there's 3 magazines for it as well, and 1 in the gun.
Oh yeah, I'll slide those in. I've probably still got cargo shorts, so I've got like magazine things, and I'm just gonna slide those. Oh, I've got a lot of ammo with me, so I guess they'll go in the pocket instead. Then I'll zip it up, and then I'll push it towards the door. That's something to care about later.
Yeah.
But this is an assassin's weapon.
Colton,
Yes.
there's a couple more bloodstains in this compartment.
Right.
No bodies.
Be aware I found some evidence of illegal, I'm not sure, spy, something like that.
Well, I think at the very least for now the ship's clear.
Okay. Let's see if we can get power on.
Let's get power on and life support up and running. Then we can get. I think
Okay.
it'd be worth getting Nomi and Romy over here.
Okay. Astrid,
Yep.
I'm gonna give you the bump. See if you can start the engine.
Ready? Yeah, ready. Go for it.
3, 2, 1. And then I'll send a kick through.
Yeah. The kind of like a very basic surge of power to get the engine rolling, and the engine starts to rotate and speed up, and that in turn sends power out through the cables back to the generators, which allow the stuff to kick in. Essentially, all of the systems and the power like spread is hit as low as possible so that lights kind of remain on, but that's about it.
It's rolling.
How's this sounding?
Sounds fine.
Yeah, alright.
I'm gonna try and like tap on the console for it to see if I can start pushing power up, if it'll let me.
Yeah, no, that's
Is it locked?
The engines seem fine. They're in the logs. There is a note of essentially like there's a bump where it basically went down to 0 for like an hour or so. Most likely what that was, and you know, like this is something you'd have some idea of. Quite often, pirates will fire essentially like a rod. They have the special that fires kind of like electrical discharge, which fucks with the engines if they hit it, which will knock out the engines for a while because it basically overloads the systems and stuff like that. It's a disabling technique, essentially. So that's probably what that readout is. Aside from that, the engines aren't damaged.
I mean, there's actually nothing wrong with the engine, but I've seen this before.
Yeah.
They've gone and, like, shocked it to fuck it up so it doesn't run. They just completely overload the engine and the generators till everything just dies off. Like catching a rabbit in a trap kind of thing.
I don't understand what any of that really is, but I can understand the concept from what she said.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna try. See if we can get some air in.
I'm going to keep the other power low, and I'm going to see if I can kickstart some oxygen production.
Like life support in general, because it'll also raise the temperature up a bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit nippy. Okay. So one useful thing as well about this ship is it has a like a docking on the what's it called airlock. So essentially like extends out, so it's like a you can transfer passengers between ships. So the captain says,
I'll go, and now the power's on. I'll get the ships docked, so the others can come across and we can do as needed. Don't actually fire up the engines. Don't kick them into gear. Just make sure that the whole ship is breathable and warm enough.
Roger, Dodger.
Okay. Oh, Kareen?
Yes, Captain?
I'm coming back over.
Okay.
I'm just gonna extend the airlock so it's attached to ours.
Okay.
So just maintain the rotation, and after that you should be fine.
Will do. The scan's clear still. I'm just a little concerned.
Okay. Well, if you're okay with it, we'll keep you on scans just to make sure nothing's on the way. Just keep us posted if you see anything.
Okay, will do.
All right.
and the captain heads back out into the passenger area, and then over to essentially just like the airlock extends out a little bit, clamps onto the other side where the deep waters airlock is, and now we have a bridge in between two ships.
But the air conditioning is on. No, that's not what I mean. The life support is on, right?
Yes. Life support is on. It's not drawing too much. So
we have proliferation throughout the ship.
Proliferation.
Do we have oxygen throughout the ship?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pull my head off and give a test. When I realize I
pull your
don't
helmet
die.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What did I say?
Head.
Oh, yeah. At the head
my head
part of
off
my
and-
suit. I pulled my head off.
Roll it down the corridor. Great
Okay,
way
that
to
was
scout. Turns out he's a robot.
Okay, I think we got air, Astrid.
Oh,
I immediately light a cigar.
freshly pumped oxygen, really.
Yep.
Yep.
Did you find anything in the generator rooms?
I walk into the room then, because that's all taken over and it's fine right now. I found some things in a bag.
What things?
Illegal weapons.
The Polly?
I reach out round and First, I breach check it.
Yeah.
And then I show it to her.
It was chambered.
Oh, yeah. I pop that out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just reach out and just like take it out of his hand.
Oh, Lord, it is fine.
Huh.
You've seen this before, Astrid. It's a
I've
good
used it
holdout.
before.
It's a good holdout weapon.
You've seen
Not
this
much
before.
range, but it's not what you use it for. So
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Huh, that's very interesting. Because that's a dodgy as fuck weapon.
it is a dodgy as fuck weapon.
Do I have any ammo with it?
Yeah.
This is
I
fine
will-
then. I'm just gonna.
I was
I
gonna
don't know.
steal it anyway. That's fine. I don't judge you for that at all. And I will give you the ammo for it.
I mean, you've already got a gun. I need one.
Yeah, but I like guns. I have a collection. I'm making a coffee table out of them.
And the captain walks in.
I stand in front until she stows the weapon away, because I don't know how he's gonna react to her. Because he was like magic mushrooms. Ooh.
Oh, sorry. The captain walks into the other ship.
Oh.
So you're fine.
Woo. Okay.
So the captain walks into the other ship and actually says, Nomi, Romy, the other ship is has atmosphere now. Should be completely fine. Just go through both of the airlocks and shouldn't be a problem. We didn't find anyone on the ship. I don't know what that means. I'm just gonna have a quick word with Corrine before I go back over.
Is there something you want me to do?
I'd have a look around. See if there's any thing we missed. We also need to get together and have a talk about what we want to do from here as well.
As you wish.
Okay.
And I'll head straight
And
over there.
Romy's, I'll head over too, and goes with you.
Sheepy, while that's happening,
Yeah.
I'd like to go and get the bag, because Astrid knew exactly what that dodgy as fuck pistol was.
Yeah.
Recognize these? I'll show the jacks. Is that what they're called? Jacks?
You recognize them as jacks. That's pretty much it.
I know what jacks are.
Just kind of like essentially like a USB memory stick, but you know,
More space punky.
more space punky. They slot into consoles, and you can either upload or download data.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this. Well done.
You know where they are?
Yep.
Where are they?
You know what they are.
I didn't know the jacks.
Look at him. And she'll flip him upside down. So you can see like the engraving here. And the way that works down the side. Data channel.
Yeah, I know what a jack is, but what are they?
A jack?
What's on the jack?
I don't know. Whatever you want.
Right. I just grab and put them back in the bag.
And the captain walks onto the bridge. Crean. I just realised you're really the only one who can operate the controls of the ship.
This ship or that ship?
Both.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not. I've worked with people on ships before and pilots. Is it possible to essentially run like a every couple of minutes scan and like patch it through so it'll alert you if there's any kind of proximity problem, anything comes into proximity?
And make it automated?
Just for a few minutes. We kind of need you over on the other ship, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just, if anything does pop up, it'll take time for me to get back here for,
I mean, it's going to take all of us time to get back over. It's worth being cautious and keeping an eye out, but we need to figure out what's happened over on this ship.
Okay. Yeah, I can set that up. Just give me a couple minutes.
Okay. When you're ready, just head on over.
Okay.
All Right, see you over there.
Sheepy, sorry, but is this idiot leaving our ship completely unmanned?
Yep.
Right, okay. Probably a good soldier, terrible fucking captain.
So Nomi and I hate when you guys are together because I suddenly realize that it's Nomi and Romy.
You should open a cafe.
Nomi and Romy's. You both walk in. The air is still slightly, light, but it's nothing too noticeable. And Romy says, "Have you had much experience with pirates and pirating ships?"
No. Have you?
No, I worked on planet.
I'm not entirely sure why we're still here.
Well, I guess the captain will tell us why in a second. I kind of am curious as to why there aren't any, even bodies, right?
Well, the lack of escape pods rather indicates that they're no longer present.
Right.
And if another ship came here and they wanted to take things, people are things.
That kind of goes into a much more philosophical debate, but for the sake of this current conversation, yes, people are things. And then the captain kind of walks in and says, "Okay, one sec, let's get
Colton, Astrid, are you able to leave your posts?
Yeah.
Alright, we're meeting in the passenger area. Just come on through.
Alright.
I'll be there shortly also.
Okay.
And just before we move out the room, I'm just gonna say to Colton, hide that bag, I'll let the others see it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I
Captain.
have.
Yes?
Did Corinne say she was coming over?
Yeah.
What about the others?
What about?
Nomi and Romy.
They're here too. We're gonna have a talk about what we want to do with the ship and how we want to proceed. And then we'll,
Is that... Yes, Captain.
Are you leaving deep waters unmanned?
Yeah. Wait, no.
Considering what has happened here, or potentially happened, we don't know if there's still someone on here. I wouldn't feel comfortable just leaving an open passageway to our nice working ship and leave us on a strand.
Captain.
yes.
Perhaps we should have someone, at least one person still in the deep waters.
Well, we'll keep the airlocks closed, and I'll put, if needed, I'll put Romy on the door so no one can get past without him noticing. I feel
Maybe
like,
lock out the consoles too.
yeah.
I assume Corinne can do that.
I can, yep.
Yeah, Corinne, just lock everything up before you come through.
I could just stay here and be on comms for this conversation.
Well, we don't have anyone else to work the piloting console, and that's where all the information is going to be.
I've worked pilot consoles before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I could
Also
talk her
pilot.
through anything, if there's something she doesn't know.
Okay. In that case, yeah, Corinne, you can stay on the deep waters. We'll figure everything out there. If we need to consult you, I'll contact you.
I'll just be on comms. Astrid, if you need anything, hit me up.
I don't know if he's incompetent or pulling something dodgy now. Because we told him
feels
earlier
so
we
much
were
better.
pilots.
Yeah, she was very uncomfortable with this plan, and so now she feels a lot better.
I'm worried. I'm worried, boys. I'm worried.
So you head on into the passenger area. And are you bringing the bag with you?
Yeah, I probably got it. It's one of them sling. I can
It's
just
got a sling
put
bag
on my
you
back,
can
right?
sling
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I'll just carry that.
Oh, okay. So, most likely, the ship has been raided, plundered by pirates. It looks like there's no one left on the ship. There's a few bloodstains around about. Most likely, at a guess, they just executed a couple of people being difficult, maybe, or just wanted to scare everyone else. My guess would be is that all the passengers got taken off the ship.
Captain, I think they might have been looking for someone.
Okay.
That bag I
What
found.
makes you think that?
I'm just gonna talk normal as if we're talking about both.
Yeah.
I found this, and I get the bag out. Like, there's a bunch of jacks. There was
There's
a weapon.
little
I just
circular disc as well.
I have no idea what this is. There was a weapon which I destroyed. Just wasn't safe. I have no idea what this is. And there's a bunch of jacks. It was a concealable weapon.
I mean, the jacks aren't labeled or already, so that they could have nothing on them or anything. I don't recognize this little cylinder thing.
I'll hold it up to the group for anyone to have a look.
But I should know what it is.
No. One person does recognize Nomi.
So, go on then.
You don't have, obviously you don't have to say whether, but it's a bug. Fairly high tech. Audio only, no visuals.
Functional?
Seems to be. Usually it's something that's like dropped into clothing or like behind a collar or something. And yeah, just
Is there any sign that it's currently broadcasting?
It's essentially like very close range. It's one that essentially, you know, put an earpiece in and attach to someone so you can follow them and hear what's happening.
Mm-hmm. That is a bug. Someone was being naughty.
Yeah. The gun was pretty naughty. It's not a normal gun. I assume the jacks, they could have anything on them. Information. Hacking ability, we don't know.
Do you think it's possible that they were whoever owned this stuff was a plant? I mean, let's assume for a second that the pirates, that this ship was pirated. Do you think it's possible that they planted someone on here so that to let them on, or to sabotage, or to just,
Yes, that's possible. Whoever this belonged to had a fairly intricate knowledge of the ship. This was in, we call it the whiskey hole.
Oh.
Why would they have left it behind? If
Because
the
they
pirate,
won.
Maybe they didn't.
Why'd you just leave this behind?
That is a good
And a
point.
weapon.
like if the pirates were successful, if the person who owned that was one of the pirates, essentially, and then they got what they wanted, the people or items off the ship, why would they have left something valuable like that?
Well, that's if that's what happened. Say, for example, whoever was planted on here got found out before the pirates got to them. But still, the pirates raided the ship.
Well, the pirates were after this person and just took everything else. Is this working? Oh, me.
I don't know.
Hand it over.
Yeah, I'll look at it under the light. Wouldn't be a very good bug if it sort of flashed.
True.
Would it?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. The problem is there's no receiver for it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it comes with like an earpiece and a little battery pack that you can kind of sync it up to.
Listening to us?
It would have to be very short range. And if they were listening, they've heard this. So they're probably further away now.
So I wouldn't say it over the comms, but I would do another scan because I haven't run one since they've turned on the power.
Yeah.
I'd run another scan just to... Do I find anything?
The empty blackness of space.
Okay.
The
And
entire ship
I'm
is
also
empty
scanning
as
the
well.
ship. Sorry?
Yeah, as far as you can tell, and as far as you can tell, obviously the power's back on and it's running a bit more operational, but the ship seems to be, same level of non-functional. And
I'm still running scans and not seeing anything really different. No people, no higher functioning tech, nothing like that.
We've seen no one on board.
Yeah.
We've been
Even-
everywhere.
People are very good at hiding when they know where to hide. I'm just gonna take the bug thing out of Nomi's hand.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, there's no use to us. I'm just gonna drop it on the ground, just like stomp on it with my boot.
okay.
CP, you said I have some knowledge of this ship,
Yeah.
this type of ship. And also that I was in the merchant navy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've probably done a few runs. Is this the kind of ship where you could store stuff behind panels? Like smuggle panels? Is there enough room for that kind of stuff?
Not really. And also in these type of like, so you can't be 100% sure why the ship was traveling, but on a long trip like this, there's very little oversight from the government. Well, from the inner government at least, because they're traveling out to Annie, which is, Stogan is barely populated at all, and Talend is just a few mining colonies, and,
So if they wanted to
basic-
hide something, it'd just be in the storage room.
Yeah, or on their person,
Yeah. There's not much room in this ship to hide anything. Maybe the odd cubby hole. Nothing major.
Yeah.
Maybe we should check the storage.
Maybe in a minute. Think, like Captain said, just got to decide what we're actually gonna do.
Yeah, so my thoughts are there's not really much to salvage here aside from parts.
That's what I was thinking.
The only thing we could do is power up the ship and someone would drive it back to the station. I'm not really comfortable with doing that.
You don't have to do it that far. I mean, all we've got to do is attach a sensor from outside and stick it on ours. Easy job.
Oh, yeah, no, I guess that's gonna be a lot cheaper than getting a replacement sensor.
Sheepy, how much is a ship like this worth?
The problem would be where you sell it. There's
Let's say we were selling it
Right.
not reputatively, just like some guy's got some money and would probably buy a ship rather than,
It would be enough to pay off like probably another 30, maybe 40% of the deep waters.
What's that in like mil?
Oof,
Four
then you
4
go
million
into, like,
credits.
mega credits and things like that. You know.
Captain, this ship's worth about 4 mil credits.
I mean, it's worth a lot. The only problem would be is I don't know anywhere where we would sell it that wouldn't get us immediately thrown in jail.
Hypothetically,
Yeah,
what if
still,
we did?
hypothetically, still, it's not ours. For no paperwork, not being vetted.
It's a
Because we're
derelict.
You got to find someone who's willing to buy a ship that's not been vetted and no paper trail. That means you'd be selling it to some real scummy people. Even then, they wouldn't take the thing. We are best. Look, they've already taken like all cargo, all the people. I mean, we're not really doing much harm if we gut it and just take what we need and just leave it floating. The whole hassle of trying to find someone to sell it to and the risk and find it back to some port somewhere. Take
But
what we
what
need.
if, hypothetically, that wasn't a problem?
Well, hypothetically, say Astrid has done this kind of shit before and knows what she's talking about. Better off gutting it.
So even if we could buy a buyer, find a buyer.
Be a
Better
well
off.
dodgy one.
No one to pilot it. I'm not sure I could set up an autopilot to follow us.
I could pilot it.
Even I could, but like I said, it ain't worth it.
4 million credits.
It's not ours.
It's not anyone's salvage rights.
Also, there are no supplies. There's no fuel. Well, there's a little bit of fuel.
I know exactly how much fuel is on the ship because I'm the quartermaster.
Yeah. There's fuel on the deep waters. There's not much
But
fuel
we
on
need
this one.
our fuel.
It's essentially the oh, and also sorry, I should have said this earlier. Astrid, all of the kick fuel and all of the iridium rods have been taken, if there were any, which there probably was.
That's why I brought one over, because I didn't think there would be any.
And the generator fuel has been drained as well to 1, 2, 3%. So it's not going to last very long.
Well, we're not exactly going to try and tow this thing.
I think, honestly...
Do we even have enough time to dismantle it?
But I'm not looking in this situation, like even with captain's approval or whatever, to start scrapping and breaking this thing down. I'd say we go
have
over
the
the
time.
issues on... Yeah, we go over the issue on deep water, see what's salvageable from here, hatch up our ship, and just leave this floating. We already have a job lined up. Let's go do that.
We could maybe mark the location or approximate location and report it into the Foxfire Interplanetary when we get back.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, if we're going to take the sensors and anything else that we may be able to use on our ship, then no, we wouldn't do that. But we might be able to get some sort of type of finder's fee if we were to.
Captain, the location might even be valuable in itself. Not as valuable, obviously. What was the name of the company?
Foxfire Interplanetary.
Foxfire. Do I have any info on Foxfire?
Yeah, predominantly they rose to like the heights of the other Voltorm and Delac Industries. They rose to their kind of heights off war profiteering. Essentially, they build the best combat ships.
Okay, so military contractors.
Yeah. It's why this ship is essentially once the combat finished, about 9-10 years ago, they didn't have as much work because all of their ships were combat based and military. So they changed a whole load of their kind of standard blueprints, as it were, to be a lot more civilian.
But they still have military ties. I don't fancy fucking with that. Captain, I doubt we gotta find this fever. It's probably safer. Maybe tell them where it is. But if we do that, we can't take anything.
We can't take anything. I mean, the sensors on the ship still work. And as much as I'd love to kind of pick this apart, we do have a schedule to keep.
Captain, do we have weapons? What weapons do we have on the deep water? Like ship weapons?
No.
Astrid, do you think you could fake a phase blast? We took off the sensors and then made it look as if the sensors were attacked.
Yeah, can do that.
I look towards the captain. These sensors.
I mean, I could take sensors. I'm guessing Colton can have a little look through, look at conditions and wires. If they're better than ours.
No, we can't really take anything from the inside. That's why we need to fake the attack.
But who's really going to find this thing?
Well, if we're going to tell them where it is.
Why do we have to?
So, let's bank on the finder's fee and location being worth hopefully enough for new sensors. We'll report it in when we get back. Actually, I'll have Corrine send over a file to Foxfire Interplanetary. Hopefully by the time we get back, we'll have a finder's fee. The thing I'm concerned about is if we take the time to stay here, not only might we miss the deadline for our delivery of the supplies to Talend, also whoever did this could come back to see if there's anyone kicking around. And we don't have weapons on the ship. We're a trading ship. We're not a fighting ship. As beneficial it could be to pick apart a few bits and pieces and cover our tracks, the mixture of we just started out. If we then say, oh yeah, we ran into a ship and you know, took some hits, and I don't know, it doesn't. I'd prefer not to be arrested on my first week in business, honestly.
What about these? I should jangle the bag.
Take it with us. Let's first up, we don't want to use those on our ship. Let's go to the console, see what it was about, see what the jacks are, and we can go from there.
Alright.
Okay, let's head to the bridge, fire it up, and see what we can see. And then we'll be out of here as quickly as possible and back on course.
Alright, I guess I'll go sit down at the pilot's console and start firing it up.
And Romy says, I'll stay here on the door, just in case.
Do I need to roll this, or?
It's the console's not locked. Essentially, now that power is spread through the system, you can fire it up pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah. Guess I'll just hold my hand out for one of the jacks. What?
Oh, right. Sorry. I pick the blue one.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'll just slot it in and start to read the import and let the program launch. See what's on it.
All right. This one, requires a password to access.
Shit.
What?
Got a code on it.
Captain, you know who Foxfire are?
Yes.
I don't know. Check this one. And I pass Astrid another one.
Okay.
Try the second one.
This one has a few kind of like it has a few kind of like travel details. Essentially just like booking and that type of thing. A few files with basic like information, like it's got like a passenger list for the ship, and just goes through names and stuff. And then there's a video file.
I'm gonna hit play on that and pull it up on the big screen in front of us all.
Okay. As the screen fires up, you're basically faced with a fairly slim woman with dark hair and green eyes, and she's like looking at the camera as she's starting to speak. Just for the record, this is a very basic like video message, that's been downloaded and stored. And she says,
Rack, I understand that your work has delayed you from returning to me. Hopefully you won't be stuck on Stojan long. I wish I could give you an ultimatum or a deadline, but it would be meaningless because I'm just waiting for you to come back, however long that ends up being. Just make sure it's not much longer, okay? Things are getting worse down here. The Marines have sealed off a section again, no one's allowed in or out. And this time, it took a whole week for them to drop the cordon. I know it's more expensive, but you're getting a big raise after this job, right? Maybe we can move closer to a central tower, where things aren't quite so run down. And there aren't quite so many security crackdowns. Oh, and your mother told me to pass on that Clobe had a baby boy. All healthy and happy, so that's one worry gone, yeah? Look, I'll send you a message in another week, but hopefully I'll have heard from you by then. I love you, Ray. Speak soon.
and the video cuts out.
Security crackdowns. Marines. Do you know when that was made?
I'll try and look through the details of the files that got recorded
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
Where would be a high security risk? Where we're headed, at least.
Well, so one of the things she said on the recording was that he was headed, he had a job heading to Stojan.
Oh, Stojan.
Which is in Annie, so most likely he was headed from Inner to Annie.
But she said come back, right?
Yeah.
So, well, we don't know which part of the journey he was on. So there you go.
If you want, you can pull up the manifest from the ship console just to see what the logged crew and passenger and everything was.
Yeah, bring that up.
So the the ship was commissioned to transport 60 from Eltian to Stojan. Essentially, the idea was to set up a small colony outpost on Stojan. The contents were food, like long-lasting food, mechanical and medical supplies. Basically everything needed to maintain a small outpost. It was you don't actually recognize the company. It's kind of a one of those like generic Rayleigh Inc. Type things, which is like they could be anything, but a company on Eltane commissioned it and hired everyone, put it all together.
What about this one? It was 3, right, Sheepy?
Yeah.
I'll plug in the third one and boot it up.
You plug it in. Nothing happens. Doesn't appear to be anything on it.
Thanks.
Screen flickers for a second.
So what's on the one with the password?
Don't know.
Try my email password 123. What?
Also, try the word password.
Try what?
Try the word password. A lot of people make their password just password.
It's easy to remember. What?
Also easy to guess.
Yeah.
Lots of people do it.
And so I try a password. I don't think it'll work, but I type in.
No.
I feel like an assassin's weapon, a bug. His password is definitely not password.
I mean, I gotta think about it. In that video that we played, maybe something relating to that, or to her, something sentimental that he talked about, or that she talked about to him.
Weird message to be sending someone who is obviously a spy.
Spies can have families.
No. Families make you weak if you're a spy.
Maybe she was talking in code.
Possible.
I don't know what the code could be, but
Chibi, how do you hack this shit? I wanna know. I wanna know what's on the thing.
If you know the who he's working for, something like that, you may have some kind of idea of possible passwords. If you haven't experienced hacking at all, which I don't think any of you have, as far as I'm aware. So the best I can say is you could take it to an expert. They can probably bypass and crack through it. Some of the information may be lost. It really depends on how good they are and how good a job they do.
I don't think we're gonna guess it without risking locking ourselves out of it, so.
And it definitely isn't 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, it's definitely not 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not even gonna waste an attempt trying that. I think we should just leave it. Bring it with us.
Colin makes a mental note to change his password to 4321. Up there for dancing, down there for thinking. Wait.
Good. Alright, well that gave us nothing, but
Do we take it? Do we leave it?
Obviously we're taking it.
Okay.
Just take everything that you found in that bag.
You want to take electronic equipment that could potentially damage our ship?
Well, here's the thing:
our
we're not going to plug it into our console. That's why we use this one. We've seen the one's blank. One's got some logs and a video message. That third one we've got no clue. So as long as no one plugs this in on our ship, just give it straight over to someone else. So fine.
Captain, we could probably see if there's anything left over in storage. Don't want to be expecting that to be there after pirates.
I mean, we had a reasonably thorough once over. It didn't seem like they left anything.
There wasn't any whiskey in the whiskey hole, was there? Damn it.
Possibly it was moved to make room for the,
Fucking spies, I hate them! You know, the more I hear about this guy,
the more I hate him.
Okay.
Right, so Captain, what do you want us to do next? It's your call.
Corinne,
Yes, Captain?
can you make a navigational path to this position, wrap it up into an info file and shoot it off back towards the inner?
Sure. Are we just letting them know we found it and where it is?
Just abandoned ship, signs of pirate activity, location, and our
Okay.
information of deep waters.
Got it. Will do.
Thank you.
Let's,
Real shame about those sensors, Captain.
well, hopefully the reward for, finding this and notifying the owners will get us enough to replace the sensors. We're getting
I
paid
don't think
okay
he
for
knows
this
how
job.
much. I don't think he knows how much sensors cost.
Probably not.
But that's on him.
If there was some crates left over with a little bit of something, I don't know, maybe we could have taken them with, but even that I think is a bit risky. I don't really want to get in trouble starting off. You know, maybe a couple of months and I'll be very interested in ripping a ship apart and getting all the parts for it, but even then I think...
Okay, I'm gonna go grab my tools. And on my way to grab my tools, I'm gonna check the storage.
Okay.
If there's half a bottle of whiskey.
Final once over.
Just in case, there might be something we missed because we weren't like looking, taking itinerary.
Yeah, no, it's there's probably like a few packs of like scattered, you know, sealed
Ration,
food packages, etc., but nothing.
Right, I'm gonna go back to the engine room. I guess if everyone gets back over to deep waters, radio to me and Colton, and we'll shut it down, bring the radium rod back, and just leave it be.
Okay. Yeah, I think where did the jacks end up, by the way?
They're in the
Colton.
duffel bag. I got them.
Okay.
If we're broadcasting the information. Yeah, I'll turn the power down. There's no one on this ship. Can I set it to just completely turn off?
Yeah, you can put a timer on it to basically shut down.
I don't care how they get in. That's their problem.
So has everyone else made their way back onto deep waters? No.
Put up. Taxi's back on. Martin, you ready?
Oh, you don't need the vac suits back on.
Yeah.
The airlocks were connected once the power was put back on.
Yeah, we're turning the power off though.
Yeah, but the air will still be there, and the don't worry about it. It's
When I push this button, we will have 2.4 seconds to get off the ship.
2.4 seconds.
It's so funny. You couldn't even run that fast.
That's funny because I'm a brick shit.
Right, Raging Rod
The
coming
old
out.
man version of a what's that fucking actor that there was loads of pictures on him on Twitter? 'Cause
Brick
he was looking-
outhouse.
A brick outhouse. I look like a brick outhouse.
So yeah, I think at this point we can get the Irradium Rod out and set the power, get everyone over to the other ship, back onto the deep waters, and essentially undock with the ship and carry on. Unless anyone has any like conversations they want to have as a group, or individually.
Yeah, I'd like to go and see Asteroid.
Okay.
Just whenever you guys come back to the ship, I double check that we can head off in our original path.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping up the scans of the local area because Kareen's a little nervous.
I'll be putting, I guess, the radium rod back into storage in the engine room.
Yeah. While you are doing that, the captain actually comes in and says, Kareen, could you just take me over the basics of like running a scan and what to look for? Like, if you're doing it already.
Sure.
It just means that once we get on track, back onto more autopilot, and cruise, I can take over some of your shifts if this has to happen again, where we need to,
I could probably set it up for the AI to notify us if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
We don't have to actually sit here all the time. It's just going to take a little bit of time to make that work.
But
I haven't messed with the AI that much yet.
Even still, like, it'll be worth, if we're worried about pirate activity in certain areas, it'd be worth having a more kind of active scan going. I don't want you like staying up for 2 or 3 days, no sleep, and so it's worth having at least one person who can take some of those shifts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And she takes a big gulp of coffee.
Yeah.
And then starts like showing him what she's doing as she's doing it.
Yeah, it's one thing I'll say is just based off Kareen and how she pilots. There's a certain amount of like skipped steps because a lot of what she does is automatic and kind of like she's like, oh yeah, so this is how you do this. And it's like, but how do you get to that kind of thing?
Yeah, she kind of like her brain just like she skips steps because she it's almost muscle memory to her.
It's automatic.
So she has to like slow herself down to, especially since she's had a lot of coffee today.
I don't think she's really taught anyone what she does or how she does it. So new experience for her probably.
Yeah.
3 hours of information in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the AI showed up. Let me just program you right now.
Meow, meow, meow. So let's move forwards a little bit in time.
Oh, I do want to have a conversation with Asteroid.
Oh, of course, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll be in the engine room.
Hey, Asteroid.
Oh, hi. Help you?
I'm a little interested.
What?
I'm a little interested in how you know where a poly is.
First time you've properly spoken to me this entire trip.
in 2 days. I don't know how long it's been.
Close to 3 or 4 now, yeah.
You know I don't have the time of day for me.
Nothing to talk about.
You know what Polly is, I know what Polly is. What's the issue?
The issue is, I was trained to know where a poly is.
And
It's not a civilian weapon. It's a very dangerous weapon. You brass checked it, reloaded it, checked the chamber.
yeah.
Okay. I'll leave.
So yes, we move time forward a little bit. The only one piece of information is, Astrid, while you're kind of signed off and headed towards sleep and etc., there's a on your door.
Where is it?
It's Romy.
Come in.
Opens the door, walks in. Glad you signed up.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bit late for a compliment though, innit?
Well, I mean, it's only a few days in, so.
I meant,
Oh no. I had a look at the shopping list.
Yeah.
And saw you added in chocolate.
yes.
And we couldn't get any. Like, there wasn't any on the available one. But I do
I know.
have. And he like reaches into his pocket and pulls out like, it's essentially industrial chocolates, and it's like 2 lines of it wrapped in the remains of a thing. Don't waste it. And save it for a special occasion, yeah? But
Thank you!
yeah. Here you go.
Thank you.
If I check tomorrow and you've eaten all of it, I will be upset.
I mean, you gotta eat it all at some point.
Right. But that doesn't mean you have to eat it all right now. There's like 8 squares for about 2 more weeks minimum, and then the trip back.
Alright. Try my best.
Okay,
Thank you, Romy.
no problem. And he turns away and starts to walk out and pauses for a sec. Everything getting on well with everyone?
Yeah. I think Colton's wary of me.
Well, Captain's not giving you any troubles.
No, not from the captain. Bye.
He may seem a little clueless, but
I mean, the nice way possible. I think we've all figured that out at this point. Oh yeah, no, Captain's fine. Lets me do my job. He's happy with it. Yeah, I'm fine with everyone. But I think Colton, like I said, he's just a bit wary of me because I'm just a bit rough.
right. Well, if there are any problems, feel free to let me know.
Good day. Night, Romy.
Night, Astrid. And he heads out. At around the same time, Colton,
Yup.
you get a knock on your door.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Captain. Do you mind if I come in?
No. Come in, Kevin.
So, I think we need to discuss something.
Fine.
And he walks in and like sits down on, you know, on the counter. So you served?
Yeah. You too.
Star Marines.
Star Marines. Yeah.
Boarding, pirates.
Ground crew.
Ground assault. Wow.
Yeah.
How long?
Lieutenant Colonel.
Officer. Must be difficult to take orders.
Was in the military for a long time. I know how to take orders. If this is about taking the lead in the ship, sorry, it was kind of fun.
No. I was the sergeant. I never really rose very high. I just and judging by your age-ish, I guess you served during the wars, right? Same as me?
Yeah. Maybe stationed.
Hold on 1 second while Sheepy gets that information.
Also, RPG scrolls the shit out of his military history.
Lord. I was like, I know exactly where this is, and then went to exactly where it should be. I'm like, nope. Ah, there it is. Okay.
Sheepy has written me a lot of very in-depth military history.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking nerd.
Don't judge me. So, I served in the Navy, in the defense of Eltian, kind of 86, 87. And then went on to take part in the invasion on White Rock. Again, Navy, so...
Yeah, that's it, on White Rock.
Yeah. Were you on the ground assault on White Rock?
Sorry, I need to read this a lot.
I know, it's cool. We're talking like, I gave Peachy like 3 pages or some shit of military history.
I'm for repelling. Yeah, that's it on White Rock. I was first on, looks like here.
Yeah.
First
Whether you
on.
want to tell him that or not.
Yeah, no, I'll tell him that. It's like a war thing. You kind of get that information if you serve. Yeah, first on. It's on the ground.
That's a rough fight.
You believe me if I told you I've seen worse.
And he like looks at you, you know, kind of like bandana over the eye and a metal one metal arm.
Yeah, I'm missing an arm. I'm missing an eye.
Yeah, I think I would. Of course, after that, the peace accords were signed and everything kind of calmed down.
Yeah. Massacres have a way of doing that.
Yeah.
You,
I don't know. It's been a while since I've met someone else who's served, so.
Yeah. I don't think I've talked about it for 5 years. Well, no, we mostly just drank.
Yeah.
You, so you're on White Rock?
Supported the invasion. Did some ship-to-ship combat, boarding.
I mean, lost a lot of ships.
And a lot of men.
Yeah. Some of them good.
Some of them great. Oh, so it's not much, but and he like reaches into his jacket and pulls out this tiny little kind of like screw off hip flask. It's just a little bit of rum. There's not much left, but
Rum?
it is what it is.
They always did say the Star Marines were their own kind of pirates.
I can't deny that.
Thanks. I offer him a cigar. I don't know if you...
I don't smoke, but and he unscrews the top of the flask and takes it for a second and says, "To all of our dead," and like takes a nip and then hands it over.
Yeah. All of them.
Hopefully they
I'll
found...
have a second one. It's been a while.
Hopefully they found a bit of peace.
Yeah. More than we found. About the salvage. The only thing that matters is credits. Nobody cares about what we went through. We did. Nobody even fucking remembers. Might as well be comfortable.
I was tempted, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to profit off people who very well may be dead, and also, you know, signed up to scavenge an inner ship. Just feels kind of, I don't know, it's kind of stupid, but it still feels a little bit like betrayal.
I guess my ethics changed along the way. Hey, that's what you want to do, tell the captain.
I'll think about it. Maybe next time we'll just rip the entire ship apart and sell it for parts.
Do you have any idea how much sensors cost?
Absolutely none.
Right. And 45% of the ship, probably. Assuming what you paid.
That is just FYI, that was for the entirety, like... if you
No,
took the
no.
ship
No, I'm just like.
Oh,
So I don't know. He paid a stupid amount for this ship because he paid way over, and it's an old ass ship.
mhm.
So as far as I'm concerned, like that's not the biggest amount of money
Yeah.
in comparison. So he's probably thinking, "Wow, that's a lot of money." I'm like, "Well, it's a fair amount of money." Let's say I said 10%.
Yeah. Well,
8 hours work, and they're still going.
so I didn't pay very much for the ship.
Oh, how did you come across it?
It was offered as a good deal, basically time served and favors owed, pretty much.
That was in the merchants.
Yeah.
What did I get out of the merchants? I think I got fuck all. Merchants weren't very good for me. Although this are like this.
I worked on a smaller trader, semi-independent.
Corporal work.
Wasn't too bad. Dangerous, but I was just security essentially on the ship. Got an opportunity to work for myself, get what I thought was a good deal. Apparently it isn't, but I still got a ship, and the mortgage is almost halfway paid off. It's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good. You got a good crew. Ish.
Yep.
And I'll keep this thing running as the lights go off. Bang! Thanks. Maybe don't tell. They probably don't know.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
It was obvious, I think, to both of us. So, I thought it was worth broaching the subject. I don't think anyone can explain White Rock.
No. You could try. It's kind of like the battlefield equivalent of drowning in sand.
Alright. See you later, Colton.
Captain.
Stands up and like walks to the door, stops, and like doesn't turn around, but says, "Do you ever wonder why?"
Yeah. You?
No. And then he like walks out and the door closes.
I take a big drag on my cigar. Have a little drink of rum. Huh. And I look miserably happy.
And the ship slowly travels closer and closer, technically speaking at least, towards Talend. And we'll close things off there. Oof. Well.
Spooky.
Oh my god. I was immediately thinking Reavers, pirates, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's spooky. I really need to pee. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So yeah, that was nice little eventful trip to a derelict spacecraft.
What you been up to, Astrid?
Oh.
Oh,
That was cool. Also, the music. Oh my god! I know Peachy's not here right now, but holy butts, it's amazing.
So that piece of music for On the Ship, I spent ages searching for the right piece of music, and I was like, wait a second, Peachy made me some music for Charlie Foxtrot, and went and had a look through it. I was like, this one's great. Let's use this one instead. So.
So good.
Yeah. How did you guys enjoy that?
Like whenever we were on that ship, just like every time like we opened a door or we turned a corner, or even when I was like following behind like the captain, I was just waiting. I was just waiting for something to happen, for someone to pop out of somewhere. It was very intense. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where I really wanted. I didn't want to fall into the standard like, aha, it's Reavers, kind of Firefly thing.
Yeah.
But I wanted that. I wanted that kind of like, you're out in space, you run into stuff, and you got to decide whether to, investigate it, what to do about it, and all those type of things. So it was really cool just to have this super creepy, let's go on an abandoned spaceship and hopefully not run into an alien situation that just turns out to be, pirates came along, they ransacked the ship and left it to drift.
So that was Nomi's thought process throughout the entire episode.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck are we here? Why am I here? Can I go and do my garden, please? That's literally it.
For most of the time.
Yeah. Just like,
I'm so glad I didn't read the Zoom chat during that scene.
It popped up.
Things got a little spicy.
It popped up for me. It popped up for me, and I saw a couple of the comments, and I was like, "Ignore that, ignore that,
ignore that.
You're gonna break. You're gonna break."
Glad.
So good.
When I put on, so that music is the captain's theme song.
Oh, it's so perfect.
It didn't occur to me until everyone else, aside from me and Peachy, were in the chat saying hubba hubba, ooh la la.
Yeah, it just suddenly got real sexual.
I didn't realize that, that song sounded porny, but apparently it does.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah. And it was like just as the captain was like knocking on the doors coming into his quarters, and we were all just like,
drink.
Hello.
Let's talk about the old days. Smoke and get wankered. Remember the showers.
By the way, chat, the White Rock Landing is known as the White Rock Landing Massacre. It was bad. Really bad.
Yeah, Colton.
So I think because Colton knows he was part of that, that's like the big event, right? I think that definitely changes how he thinks about the captain.
There's two big events that Colton was part of.
Well, Colton was part of a lot of shit.
Yeah, but there's two events that stick out in history for like the period of military activity.
Yeah, I was just trying to pick through and see where you were going and like what should I bring up here, because there's quite a lot. I got a lot to draw from.
The other one would be the invasion of
Sycharis,
Eltian.
Yeah, he did bring up Eltian
By the EAP.
But then when you like the other one, just Massacre just sounds way more badass.
Yeah.
In a terrible way.
the raids on New Ulthuan was important for Colton, but not kind of like, I want to say globally, but not on the whole.
Yeah.
That was pretty early on in his career. So yeah, like we got to see a little bit of Kareen doing some piloting, like some proper full-on piloting, which was cool. I do like that you were like, it's nice to be invited over, but I want to stay at my console and I want to make sure that no one like creeps up on us. Like,
yeah.
I was so paranoid that they were still here.
Yeah, like same. Like leaving our good working ship completely unattended, even if it's locked out, I was like, plus it's she has to get on the suit and all this stuff. She's like, I could just talk to you guys through the comms.
Oh,
Also, what's up with Astrid? She's a naughty girl.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing, mate.
yeah.
All good. Good in the hood, all neat in the street.
They're, like, I think if people either go back or if people were paying attention, they could glean some information on Asteroid now.
They don't need to.
No. One thing that's I do want to know actually is where did the bag go? Because it may become.
I took the bag onto the ship with all the stuff in.
Yeah.
So it's probably containing the jacks at the moment.
Yeah.
Probably in
Assuming
storage.
Colton has it.
I probably chucked them in storage.
In locker room. Okay. Good to know. In that case, unless anyone has anything else they'd like to say.
Other than that was great.
Yeah, no, actually, that's a very good point. Well done, everyone. That was a really cool episode. I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll progress a little bit tomorrow. Yeah, we're I did tell you guys, we're back tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Alright, so hopefully next week we'll manage to get to Talend, but I'm not promising anything. We'll see. And let us.
Don't go there. It's cold.
Yeah.
Play our brand new outro.
Yes. So.
Brand new outro. Hype.
Thank you everyone for watching. We will be back next week for more drifting. Hope you're enjoying it so far, and look forward to seeing what's on Talend. Maybe in like 10 weeks. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you soon.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? It's a big, big world out there. Plenty possibilities. All of them is killing me soft. I want the real me figured out right here, right now. Is this lifestyle the right style for me? Only with time will I see. But by then it'll be too late. Looking in the mirror at a stranger's face. If I wasn't right, would you tell me straight? Or would you let me? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? I want something great instead of all dismay, but I can't find my way. I fall on my face, I flatline my faith. I want all escape, let's throw it all away. Just like the thoughts I trade for a couple of bucks in this big bucket of love. I'm steady throwing my up, hoping for that 1 in 100. But fuck stressing the numbers. Pop this deck in your summer and see the inner of my head declog like a plunge. Y'all be akin to my feces, your best bet be the Bee Gees. The way you think living's staying alive. I got my head in my smile, but don't know where I'll fly. I'm just spreading my wings, I'm fine with taking my time. I used to rush it all out, I'm trying to slow it all down. Take my feet and lose ground, give them somewhere to hang. I always want it right now, trying to slow it all down. Take my mind and lose ground, watch it floating away, yeah. Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream?